Hi, welcome to week 2 of this 8-week series, taking a moment for yourself. My name is Linda Ty. I'm a somatic coach, somatic therapist and trauma therapist here in Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's my absolute pleasure to be here with you again. Last week, we had a quick look at the autonomic nervous system, which is the basis for polyvagal theory. And there are another 2 important aspects of polyvagal theory: neuroception and co-regulation. So neuroception is where our nervous systems are constantly scanning and reading each other's nervous systems below the level of conscious awareness. And we're scanning and reading other people's nervous systems for threat and for safety. And so by listening to learn to the implicit messages and cues from our own nervous systems and making them explicit, we can then co-create presence, connection, safety, and trust in our relationships. And then this leads us on to the third aspect of polyvagal theory, which is co-regulation. The ability to self-regulate happens as a result of ongoing experiences of co-regulation. Our nervous systems, let me wind back. Nervous systems that are safe for me to be with, to move towards, and to move away from on a consistent, predictable, and reliable basis teach my nervous system how to experience safety in connection. Last week we mentioned stillness in terror and stillness in safety. And then this aspect of neuroception and co-regulation allows us to move towards safety in connection with ourselves and with others. And so, as therapists, it is absolutely imperative that we become aware of, learn to listen to, and to take care of ourselves at this nervous system level. My nervous system is the gift that I give to my clients. Last week, we explored the relationship between the eyes and the sympathetic and the parasympathetic branches of the autonomic nervous system. And so we give our clients the gift of soft eyes. So let me demonstrate. I'm just going to move myself a little bit closer to the screen. Notice what happens inside your body when I do the big eyes. What did you notice happening inside for you? Big eyes is what happens when we move into sympathetic activation. So it's possibly the precursor to fight, flight, freeze. And it's also possibly the precursor to delight and joy. Fright and delight are very similar internally, but yet they become confused. And I'll show you once again this image of the polyvagal ladder. And so up here at the top of the polyvagal ladder is the ventral vagal nervous system. It is robust enough to encompass the positive affects and emotions of delight, joy, fun, and play within the parasympathetic nervous system. So safety and connection is big enough to accommodate some sympathetic arousal and to associate that with joy and pleasure. And what we know for our clients is delight, joy, pleasure can be too arousing. And that is because fright has become confused with delight. Surprises are bad. And so by us learning to become aware of our eyes, we can then give our clients the gift of soft eyes. Here's the other thing. When our body moves into sympathetic arousal, not only do our eyes get bigger, but there's also tension in the feet, the hands, the jaw, the ears, the scalp and the face. And that'll be the focus of today's mini class. These are also body areas that are below the level of conscious awareness. And so this is that implicit realm where our bodies are actually telling the story of our lives, meaning that our nervous systems shape themselves in response to our environment. And then the stories that we tell ourselves, back to this ladder, the narrative of our lives comes out of where we are sitting on the polyvagal ladder. And by shifting where we sit on the polyvagal ladder, we actually shift our stories of ourselves and the world around us. We don't see the world as the world is. We see the world as we are. Yeah, a reflection of our autonomic nervous system. So I'm going to show you another map now, right, about the sensory motor pathways of the body. Yeah. So here are two maps. This one here is a drawing of the body. If we draw the body in accordance to the motor cortex of the brain and the neuronal connections between the motor cortex of the brain and the body, as you can see, the hands are humongous and the face and the lips and the jaw is disproportionately large. And then over here on this side is the sensory cortex of the brain, drawn proportionally in terms of the body. So we can see there's a disproportionate number of nerve endings from the sensory cortex of the brain to the feet and the hands and the face and the mouth. Yeah. So this is where the implicit messages are held in the body. And funnily enough, the yogis also knew this. One of my yoga teachers, Simon Borg-Olivier, would talk about the gateways of consciousness. And in the realm of yogis, the gateways of consciousness are, bizarrely enough, the hands and the feet, the mouth and the eyes, the jaw, the thoracic diaphragm, meaning the breath, and the pelvic diaphragm, meaning the pelvic floor, the anus, and the urethra. Yeah? We have conscious awareness of these areas of the body, and yet they have a mind of their own. And so by bringing explicit awareness here, right, and this is the world of yogis, mastery of the mind and of the emotions comes through mindful awareness of the messages that our body's telling us. It's fascinating, isn't it? So let's wake up our awareness to the connection between the brain and these areas of the body, not so that you can release tension in these areas of the body, but also so that you can develop an awareness, more conscious, mindful awareness of these areas, so that you can move through the day being more aware of the implicit cues that your body is giving to you. And this is interoception, noticing within. And then as we notice within, we're then able to facilitate this co-regulation with ourselves and be that gift for others. So let us start by massaging our hands. So you can start with the end of your pinky finger and squeeze and pull. And then working from the base of the finger, you can caterpillar all the way down to the end of that finger. And then moving to the heel of the hand and placing a pressure along every single bone in your hand, all the way down to the end of the pinky finger. And do the same for the ring finger, squeeze and pull at the end. And then caterpillar down that finger. And then from the heel of the hand, making contact with every bone that leads up to the ring finger. Yeah. And making your way down systematically and noticing what feels good. And if something feels particularly good, it's okay to linger and spend some more time here. Being able to orient ourselves towards that which feels good can be new for some of us. Mm-hmm. For some people, this can also be done through the use of fidget toys, yeah, where we're then activating and working the connections to the hands. The sensory motor neocortex of the brain has disproportionate nerve endings to the hands. And we can leverage off of this to bring ourselves back into the present moment. You can switch hands if you haven't yet already. The thing with fidget toys, though, is to bring a sense of intentionality to it. You know, as you play with, say, your monkey finger rings or your squeeze toys, to bring that sense of intentional awareness. And I notice with my clients when I do this, they're then interacting through their hands in ways that are more intentional, that then causes for a shift in their autonomic nervous system. Mm-hmm. You may also wish to massage the meat of the thumb. And if it feels okay with you, you can also massage the wrist area, if that feels good for you. Please know that you're welcome to go only as far as what feels okay with you in this moment. You can always access the recordings and titrate your practice and scaffold your experience. It's okay to notice when you've had enough. Yeah. So after the hands, I invite you now to massage your scalp. So I'm going to take my hair out and my hairpins. And massaging your scalp may be experienced as long strokes through the hair, perhaps massaging through the ends of your fingertips in small circles. Or for some of you, this may be experienced as a gentle pulling on the hair. And you're in charge of where and of how much pressure or force you use. Some folks also like the feeling of fingernails, along the surface of the hair. And so I invite you to experiment with what feels good for you and whereabouts it feels good for you. Perhaps closer to the hairline, perhaps towards the back of the head, perhaps towards the temple area, perhaps towards the hairline at the front of the head. But play, experiment, explore what feels appropriate for you in this moment. What can tend to happen also with the face is that we keep our professional faces on. Or perhaps for some of us, exposure equals death. And so we learn to have a frozen face of calm and still so that others can't see our distress. And the muscles in the face and the nerve endings in the face refer up through the scalp. And so in this way, we're waking up our capacity to emote and express through our faces. I invite you now to find your ears. And we're going to work our way around the ear, but start with the base of the ear, with the earlobes, and pull down and out and back, perhaps doing big circles with the ears. And as you do this, I invite you to release the jaw. And you're welcome to move your way along the outside of the ear, moving your ears in all directions if this feels okay with you. So what happens as we move down the autonomic nervous system ladder, as we move into sympathetic activation, is there's this slight freeze-fright response where our ears perk up. It's part of that hypervigilance and hyperarousal. And for some of us who also work in crisis settings, we learn to perk up through our ears and to release the tension in the ears in this way, as well as in the jaw, for the ears connect to the jaw. And then from here, I'm just going to invite you to massage through the jaw area. This includes underneath the jaw, as well as the cheekbone area, as well as the above the jaw on the face. So as animals in nature, when we perceive danger, one of the things that we do in order to survive is we close the jaw. Because if you lose your lower jaw as an animal in nature, you'll die, because we can't then masticate our food. And so it's part of this ancient survival mechanism to bring the jaw shut. And so for many of us, we experience jaw tension, perhaps TMJ, perhaps grinding of the teeth. Yeah. Notice if there's that big, deep breath that happens every now and then. If so, just allow space for that. And gently pull on the chin and massage the chin. And then from here, let's massage the forehead. So the trigeminal nerve not only connects through to the jaw, it connects through to the eyes as well as up through the forehead. Yeah. And so by releasing tension here, we can bring an expanded sense of awareness to when there is tension here. So for you, this may be horizontal strokes across the forehead. It may be vertical strokes. It may be circling around the temples. And then from here, the cheekbones and the sinuses. And then from here, I just invite you to pull on your cheeks. Yeah. To let go of some of this, frozen face that we do. And then from here, the mouth, a whole bunch of nerve endings here that help us to emote. So you have some choices here. You can pull on the lips, yeah, or you can actually choose to massage from the inside by using your tongue to circle around the inside of the lips, like so. Yeah, big deep breath. And then the yogic tongue stretch. I'll do this from the side. Yeah, because this is part of what we do when we inhibit the attachment cry. Our tongues get tight and we lose that mobility. So it looks like this. And our whole face and neck actually stretches and releases. And then one more time together. I know it feels weird. And then pause here. Pause here. Notice the effects of just the massaging through the hands and the scalp and the ears, the jaw, the face. Yeah. Soften the eyes. I want to share with you a few pressure points now, and that can also bring a sense of calm to the nervous system. The first one is the rooster crest. So I like to interlace my fingers and to press along the rooster crest of the head. And then you can bring downward pressure through your fingertips or perhaps a little bit of circular pressure. Lengthen through the back side of the neck. And then release down. You can connect to the jaw through bringing your thumbs to the underneath of the cheekbones. And to find that groove where the thumbs tuck in underneath. And if you smile, it pushes the thumbs off the cheekbones. From here, you can place your elbows down to the desk. Let the back side of the neck lengthen. Melt your shoulders away from your ears. Breath in through the nose and down through the belly. And if this is a little bit too ouchy for you, just move a little bit away from this specific area. And slowly bring the head up. From here, another pressure point that you may wish to explore is the inside of the eye socket. So you're pressing against the eye socket, not against the eyes themselves. And it's this area here, just to the inside of the eyes. And so once again, you're welcome to place your elbows on the desk to lengthen through the back side of the neck. Melt your shoulders away from your ears, breathing in through the nose, down to the belly. And then slowly coming back up. One more pressure point. Find your nose. Find the area underneath your nose. And push in and then pull down. Perhaps the back of the head comes back and the chin comes down slightly as you lengthen through the back side of the neck. Breathing in through the nose and down to the belly if that's okay with you. And then bringing the head up. And then check in, notice how you feel now. Yeah. Next week, one of the sympathetic arousal chains begins in the area between the shoulder blades on the back side of the torso. So we'll actually explore releasing the tension through this area of the body, through the shoulders and the neck, so that you're more able to move through the day with less tension in your body and more able to notice when you start to move towards a sympathetic arousal. I look forward to seeing you all next week.